Okay, team, welcome to our team call for Wednesday, July 26th. And I have, as I showed you guys earlier, an amazing special guest for us tonight. And I've waited all 4 of my years to ask the top coach and someone like Melanie to be on our call because I feel like I had to wait for the perfect time. And after Summit, my heart is full, my vision is booming. And, you know, it's halfway through the year. It's halftime. So what better time than to hear from who I like to call kind of my spirit animal. You guys know I'm a self-discipline junkie. I love pushing myself in terms of challenges and, you know, paying this forward to so many other people. And Melanie really shows me what it takes to be consistent in this business and go big. So before I introduce her amazing accolades, does anyone have any recognition that they would like to shout out as far as rank advancements go?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Tess is going to be diamond next week, and I'm so proud of her.
I just got goosebumps. Tess, congratulations. She was the elusive Ruby, I think, last week or the week before. This is big. She just messaged me probably 2 months ago and said, I want to be diamond. What does it take? And look at you go. She just did her first What Is Coaching event by herself. She reached out to leaders to speak in there. Really proud of you, girl. Anyone else for any shout outs for rank advancements?
I have one.
Go for it.
My girl, Lauren Bruno, she's halfway through Emerald, so I'm
Awesome. That's so exciting. Congrats, Lauren. We love emeralds because emeralds are the foundation to becoming a diamond.
Supposed to be listening to this.
I do too.
Okay, go for it.
My girl, Ashley Hutchinson, she's halfway to Emerald.
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to figure out who else isn't muted. Who's talking right now? Okay. There was so much going on. Sorry if I muted you. Who was that?
It was me. I just wanted to shout out my girl, Ashley Hutchinson. She's halfway to Emerald.
Awesome. Congratulations, Ashley. Sorry if I cut you off there, but there was a lot of background noise going on. Anyone else?
I think it was my background noise. Sorry.
That's okay.
We were trying to talk at the same time. I have to shout out quite a few people, actually. Kelsey is almost a diamond.
Hi.
PJ says hi. Sarah, who you just shouted out, her girl, is pushing super hard. She's working hers and her hubby's account and killing it. Like, she'll be 1-star and diamond, like, soon. Like, she's just straight slaying. I have a brand new girl, Jessica, who just signed up, and she will be in Emerald on Thursday, and I don't think she was even a full weekend, and she's hustling. She created a free group the day she signed up. Like, she's all in, and it's just so incredible.
Wow, that's impressive.
Watch my team just go, man. Like, it's been such an amazing ride. Like, I'm so excited for everybody. So to all of you guys, I love you, and I'm so proud.
Congratulations to you and your team. That's awesome when someone signs up and they just go for it. It's actually kind of what I asked Melanie to talk to us on her. You know, she clearly helps people sign up and go for it. So, okay. Was there anyone else? Because this is awesome. Any other recognition shout outs?
Can I just really quickly? I don't know who I talked over. I just wanted to shout out Craig for rocking like SC30 and like kicking ass and taking names this month. He is a man on a mission. If you're not following Craig, please go follow him. He's consistent. He fuels the fire, and he's sharing his story and just being vulnerable. And he's just doing amazingly, and I'm so proud of him. And I'm just really grateful. I'm very excited to see where the end of the year, you know, takes him and this team. So just keep doing it.
Yes, we are so proud of you, Craig. You're definitely setting the tone for all of us that are doing Shift Shop. So, okay, I think we're good. All right, I would love to introduce Melanie. And to some of you, these accolades, you're probably going to say, what? What does that even mean, right? But basically, Melanie has accomplished every rank, every accolade, every goal in this business. So she is the one and only, no one's ever done this before. She's a 3-time top coach, #1 in all of Beachbody, 3 years in a row. She probably could go for 4 years in a row. She is a superstar diamond 3 coach. So that means that she has hit 15-star 3 times in 3 different business centers. Like, I'm pushing for 1. My mind is blown by that. Success Club All-Star Legend. She is in the Millions Club. She's on the Coach Advisory Board, which is a really special position to have because she speaks for us as coaches and what we want, what we're looking for. So I'm going to shoot for that one day. She is this year's CEO award winner, so well deserved. And of course, most importantly, she's the mom of 2 boys, Landon and Bryce, and the wife and a wife to Matt. We all love the family so much, and she lives in Mars, Pennsylvania. So Melanie, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'm so excited to hear from you.
Well, hi guys. So I hope you can hear me all right. I rushed home from Bryce's last baseball game. So he had his last game tonight, and so I'm sorry if I look like a disheveled mess. I like threw some lip gloss on, and here I am. So that's life as a busy working mom, and I'm excited to be here. And Colleen is so wonderful and so sweet. And one of the things she was asking me just to talk about was just to. What are some of the things that I have done in my business to kind of create some disciplines and practices to set myself up for success? And this is a really great topic, and I want to give you guys a lot of permission to pick my brain during this call and just ask a lot of questions and let it be your call. Because I don't want to stand up here and preach to you, things that you may already know, but I want you to kind of say, like, these are the situations I'm being faced with. What would you recommend that I do, or how should I face this situation, or how can I overcome it to still be successful? And so a few things that I am going to share with you guys is just my mindset. What are the disciplines that I practice? What are the disciplines that I teach my team? The things that are really working for me, because let's face it, building a business, no matter what kind of business that you build, whether it is a Beachbody business or it's a brick and mortar business, you open a store or a cafe or a shop, it's hard work. And anybody that ever tells you that a business is easy is pulling the wool over your eyes, because it's not easy to build a business, but it's fun to build a business that you love and that you're passionate about. And it doesn't make the work it doesn't make it work when you love what you do and you're willing to work hard for the things that you want to accomplish in life, right? And so as I was sitting here and I was preparing for this, I was thinking about the word discipline. And I was thinking about, are you born a disciplined person? Is that a God-given characteristic and trait that you are born with? Or can discipline be taught? And one of the books that I have been reading, and that actually Jeff Hill mentioned at Summit, was the book Grit by Angela Duckworth. And as boring as that audiobook really is, like, how many of you have ever listened to Grit? It is boring. It is all like scientific, but you kind of get to like chapter 6 and 7 and it starts to get better. But bottom line is, she talks about the principles of grit and discipline. And basically she talks about the passion and perseverance that it takes to succeed in life. And she studied these West Point graduates, these West Point students that went through, and I forget the name of the training that they went through. They went through this very rigorous and intensive training. And these students were the best of the best. They had the highest scores on their testing. They performed the best in their physical exercises. They were the best of the best. And out of the 5,000 applicants that applied, they were the 1,000, the 1%ers that got to join. And still, even through that beast, I think they called it beast, through that training period, people quit. And so they talked about what kind of discipline and mindset do these people have to have in order to not give up. I mean, even after they went through all of this rigorous testing and got into the top school, they quit. And so Angela, who is the author, she talks about passion, the passion for what you're doing, the perseverance, and the never give up attitude, that no matter how much something sucks in the moment, you never give up, because you are so dedicated to the cause. You are so driven to be successful that you're willing to do whatever it takes. And even if you fail over and over and over again, you are never going to give up. And she talks about how that is not a characteristic you are born with. It is something that can be learned. It is something that you can develop over time. And she goes on to study, children that win the spelling bee and, famous authors. And, and it's a really good book that talks about discipline. And the bottom line, it comes down to the first thing that I'm going to talk to you about is knowing what your desired outcome is. And so I talked a little bit about that concept at Summit, and it's so important. If you become a Beachbody coach because you see everybody around you becoming a Beachbody coach, and it looks like the cool kids club, and it's where you want to hang out, and then, okay, everybody's getting to Diamond, so that's the cool kids club. I got to get to Diamond so I can be a part of that club. But if it has no purpose and meaning to you, you're just going to move from one sort of, advancement or recognition to the next and have no fulfillment out of it. And so when you're looking at why do you become disciplined, why do people become successful at what they do, it's because they've attached the rank or the income or, a certain, the Success Club trip to something that is deep and meaningful. Right? It's deep and meaningful. And so if I think about that, I think about when I started my coaching business, the first thing that I was really, the first goal that I set for myself was that I wanted to transform one person's life the way that I had been transformed, because that made me feel good. I had found a process that worked for me, so I wanted to teach that to other people. And I was so laser focused on teaching that to other people that I created documents, I created challenge groups, I created scripts, because I wanted to be the best of the best of the best. I wanted to teach other people how to create the disciplines to exercise and eat healthy. So I made challenge groups, and then I thought to myself, okay, how do I reach the people that I want to reach, and what are they doing, and what are they struggling with? And I went all in at learning how to run a successful challenge group. And I knew that if I ran a successful challenge group and my customers had success, that they would tell other people. And I had all of this faith that it was going to work out. And I had the courage to take that leap of faith without any guarantee that I was actually going to be successful. Because I just believed that if I could do it, so could other people. And I had to prove myself, not by saying, look at me, but by doing the hard work of helping other people and gaining their trust and their credibility so that they would go out there and recommend my services to other people. So they would tag me in their Facebook post, not because I asked them to, but because they were proud of the results that they got and they wanted to shout it from the rooftops too. And so at the beginning of my business, I was all focused on the customer experience and helping them get results and doing whatever it took to get there. That was what my desired outcome was, to help people. But then as I began to get on national wake-up calls and I was a part of the team calls, I would see these coaches advancing in rank. I saw that they were paying off their student loan debt and their mortgages. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my husband and I, we argue about money all the time. They went on this Success Club trip and we hadn't taken a vacation in years. And so all of a sudden I started to set the bar a little bit higher for myself. And then my desired outcome became providing for my family. And so then I would do this activity where, and I did talk about this at Summit, where I would visualize the outcome. So any of you have been around to when the Disney trip was it the Success Club trip was in Disney? I remember seeing the Magic Kingdom come across the screen at Super Saturday. And all I could think to myself was, I can't afford to take my family to Disney. We would never be able to afford the tickets. We haven't taken a vacation in 4 years. That was in our 10-year plan. And are you telling me that if I help 3 to 5 people every month, I can go to Disney and you're going to pay for my family to go? And I started to think about all of those, that I started to visualize my kids walking into the Magic Kingdom. I started to visualize how awesome it would be for them to ride on a plane for the first time. I visualized Matt being proud of me because I contributed to our family. And if I could do this in the pockets of time being a mom, oh my gosh, how awesome would that be? And that became my goal, 3 to 5 people. And so every day when I would sit down to do the work, or when that alarm would go off at 5 a.m. and I would go, God, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do this today. It's been a long night. I would think about that goal. I would think about my kids' faces and I'd be like, are you kidding me? You're not going to get out of bed because you're tired. And so you're going to give up on this really exciting goal that you want for your family. You're going to give yourself excuses. And I would like talk myself out of it. I'd force myself to do the things that I didn't necessarily want to do in the moment. And so I began doing these little tiny things that actually began to create momentum and discipline and habit. And it's so easy. It's so easy to make excuses. And so the second thing that I have on here is that the moment you accept the fact that we just want to do the things that feel easy, you realize the secret to success. All right. You're never going to feel like it. You just have to do it. When that alarm goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning, do I jump out of bed singing a song? No, I don't. I don't. Most days I have to peel my eyelids open and I have to propel myself out of that bed. I don't want to get up. I may make it look effortless, but it's because I've had my Energize and about a half hour has gone by and now I'm actually alive. But no, I don't feel like doing it. But it's kind of like I'm drawing a line in the sand and I'm saying, okay, it's easy to hit the snooze button. It's easy to blow off my workout. It's easy to, go hang out with my girlfriends instead of do my follow-ups, right? That feels good. That gives me instant gratification. Sleeping in, that feels easy. But you can either have that instant gratification or you can have the pain long-term of not reaching your goal. And so you have a choice to make as to whether or not you're going to suck it up and say, I'm going to do the things that aren't easy because I want that goal that's 6 months or 12 months from now more than I want to hit that snooze button. And it's a discipline. It is a discipline of in your mind saying to yourself, when that alarm goes off, get out of bed. And it is stopping yourself and saying to yourself, all right, I want to sleep in. It would be so nice. My bed is warm and cozy. And before you even start going there, you just get up. And I promise you, if you start thinking to yourself that way, if you start saying to yourself, I'm up, I'm up, I'm up, you will actually start to create a new habit. And I kind of do this all through my day is I create these habits for myself. Hold on. I want to close out I think it's me that is dinging here. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay. That should work. All right. So it is throughout the day that I've created these new habits for myself because, and they compound over time. So all of the decisions that I've made to press play in my workout, I can't tell you how many times I go to the basement and I'm like, I really don't want to do this workout today. I have so many other things to do. I need to get the laundry done. We're leaving for vacation on Saturday, or I need to send all these follow-ups because we have to be somewhere for the kids at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I always say to myself, it's a very simple discipline. My body is my business. And if I don't press play, if I don't push myself hard, if I don't get the results, people aren't going to trust me. Nobody's going to purchase a product from me if I'm not leading by example. And I need to show them what it's like to push through. Nobody would know if I turned it off and took a selfie and made a picture and posted it anyways, but I know. And that's not trustworthy and that's not truthful. And I need to get my butt together and I need to show people that it works. And that's kind of something I'm doing with my Shift Shop group right now too. My coaches that are in the Shift Shop group, I'm like, treat this as if you are in the test group and you might be selected to be a part of the infomercial. I said, give yourself the best results possible. Nobody is going to tell you no, they don't want to do the program if you rock the results and have a killer body at the end. I go, if you want people to join you, get results or, show them what it's like to stick to the nutrition plan from beginning to end. That makes the biggest difference in the world. It is all of these small disciplines, things that you're choosing to do that are going to compound over the long haul. And are they easy things to not do? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, going out to grabbing drive-through or making yourself a salad. It's easy to grab the drive-through food, but it's, but that's not going to get you to where you want to be, right? That's not going to get you to the goal. So you want to really think about that as you're going through the day. Accept the fact that in the moment, you are going to make choices that are not the ones you want to make, but you're going to make the choice you should make because you're creating a disciplined habit to do the hard things that other people are not willing to do. Slight edge. If you can live by the slight edge principles, you will rock your business. You will rock it. All right. So the next thing is, and stop thinking about how you feel. So in the morning, I kind of described this a little bit, right? So when we sit down to invite, what happens? Like, let's talk about inviting to the business. What starts to happen? We start to go, oh my gosh, what if they tell me no? Okay, what if I post this and my boss at work sees this? Or what if I post this and my best friend calls me out on it? Or what if I post this and the person ignores me? Who gives a crap, right? So, but when you have the urge to invite somebody to the business, get in the habit of saying, ooh, Candace, I should invite her. Send. And stop yourself. And I kind of do this countdown method that I learned from the 5-second rule. And I'm like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit send. And so I've learned to condition myself to be disciplined to say, okay, it doesn't matter what the person says. I just need to invite them. Because then we go into, what if they say yes? And I don't know if I have a training system to sign them up for. And oh my gosh, what if I fail them? What if they quit? What if I didn't do a good job? Who cares? You'll never know if you don't invite the person. And I promise you, you already know what to do. You just have to have the confidence in yourself to do it first. So don't think about your feelings. The minute you start to overanalyze, we women on the call, maybe some men too, are overanalyzers. That would be me. And I have to stop myself. I have to go, stop. If I overanalyze this, it's not going to change the outcome. You just have to put yourself out there. And so again, it's like anything we do, the more you practice it, the more it will become a habit for you too. All right. It takes courage to start something. It takes courage to stick with it. And it takes courage to share it with the world. Let's be honest. This business takes courage. And you are the only person that can give yourself that permission to have that courage. I can't come through the computer screen and give it to you. Colleen can't come to your house and give it to you. We can give you all the pep talks in the world, but you have to say, you have to draw a line in the sand and you have to say, I want this. I want this more than I am afraid of the outcome. And I would rather fail over and over than sit back here and say, I wonder what would have happened if I would have given it my all. And so I look at my life and I say, everything I failed at has taught me a life lesson of what I won't do the next time, what I won't do the time after that. It has groomed me and shaped me, and all of the good and bad things that have happened are creating who we are meant to be. And this process of growth isn't finite. It doesn't have an end point. And I shared this actually in my challenge group this morning. I said, this journey doesn't end in 3 weeks. Fitness and nutrition is a lifestyle, and we are always going to be changing. How many of you have had children? How many of you, I know Colleen, you're pregnant, right? You're going to have a baby. Then you're going to have postpartum. You had the best body in the world. Now you're growing a baby. Then you're going to have your hormones are going to be shot to shit, excuse me, guys, and then you're going to be like, oh my God, I got to get my body back. And then once you're done having kids, then you go through menopause and your hormone, there will be a phase in your life, and every stage of the game, you will be tweaking your nutrition, you'll be tweaking your fitness, and you'll be tweaking all of that stuff so that it becomes a lifelong journey. And that's our Beachbody business too. We don't ever arrive at ultimate leadership or ultimate knowledge. We are in this constant process of improvement over time, and we're learning new skills and we're learning how to lead, and you have to embrace that. You embrace the challenges because it's part of the journey. And it makes you who you are. And John Maxwell said that. I don't know how old John Maxwell is, right? I don't want to even guess because I know he's older. And but he stood up on stage, and John has probably written, 50 books. I feel like it's probably like 50 books. And you would think he would know it all. And he still stood up on stage at Entre Leadership and talked about how he still gets up every day and goes to work. He could golf every day of his life, but he still learns something every day. He makes it a point to talk to people that are younger than him, to talk to people that are older than him, and to interview people, because every day he takes away a nugget from somebody else's life. And he's like, I'm not done. I will never be done. And that really stuck with me as if I feel complacent or I feel stuck, I know that I need to dive in a little bit more and grow myself. So you got to have that courage to kind of face the world. All right. So the next part, right? We talked a little bit about the discipline, but let's talk about distractions. Because if you want to really grow your business, you have to learn to clear the distractions. And there sure are a lot of them in life, all right? So really quickly, I want you guys to tell me what are some of the distractions that you have in your life right now that are keeping you from getting to where you want to be today?
A job that I hate.
Okay. All right. What else? Summertime activities, bad influences. What else? Toddlers. Yep, that's a big one. Can't avoid that. Babies, can't avoid that. Yep. Sleepless nights. Technology, quality time with your husband. Yeah, that is kind of sometimes a distraction. Shh, don't tell Matt. Trying to learn everything about this business, bartending job, your puppy. Yes, all distractions. Some good, some distractions that you love, some you hate, right? And you know what? Here's the thing. Sometimes anxiety, that's definitely a distraction. So, you know, why these distractions are bad because they take you away from the things that you want to achieve. So what we're going to talk about is we need to remove some distractions, or we need to adjust our time or the way we structure our day so that we're disciplined when we can be the highest potential for success. And I'll share with you just a few things that I do. So number one is we're going to talk a little bit about technology. We are going to definitely talk about family members, and we're going to talk a lot about your team and those kinds of distractions that can come your way too. So the first thing is this. We can't remove our children and we can't remove our spouse, you know, so that's obviously not, and some of us, we're gonna have to put up with a crappy job, but what we can do is we can own certain parts of our day. All right. So when you think about what is your most productive part of the day, and actually it's your morning time. For most of us, it is our morning time. So owning your morning or owning your evening. And so for me, this is a discipline that I just hold sacred. And when I get out of this discipline, the entire machine stops running and I fall apart. And this actually happened to me a month before Summit. And I recognized what I was doing and I had to jolt myself back because I was like all over the place. So the first thing is I create that morning routine, that 5 o'clock wake up. It starts with me getting out of bed. If I hit snooze twice, I am now 20 minutes behind schedule. And for many of you, you have a job to go to, or you have children that are anybody have children that are ticking time bombs, and you're like, at any moment you could wake up and my whole morning is gone, right? And so that was me with 2 small children. Matt would leave the house at 6:30 in the morning, and I would kill him if he rattled his belt too loud, because if he woke up a child, he was going to die, right? Does anybody else understand that? Like that, you will understand, Colleen. You will understand. You'll be like, do not open that door, because if it creaks the wrong way and wakes the baby up, you are in trouble, you know? So anyway, so I created, yes, this morning routine. I would get up at 5 o'clock. I would go straight to the basement. I would drink my E&E. At that time is what we would drink, E&E. I would go to the basement. I would press play. And I learned to not open my phone, to not look at Pinterest, to not look at Facebook. How many of you lay in bed in the morning and scroll? Anybody? You scroll, you check your Instagram, and then you check your Facebook, and then you look at your messages, and then you look at your email, and then maybe you look at Snapchat, and then you look at Instagram stories, and before you know it, 45 minutes has gone by, right? You are wasting time. All right? You are wasting time. So what I learned to do is I do not, this is a discipline of getting out of bed and not even opening any of that, because the minute you open it, you've now created distractions. You now go down a rabbit hole of answering messages that are not worthy of your time yet. All right? So you've got to do you first. And you ever hear that analogy of like when you get on an airplane, you put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on your children, because you can't help somebody else unless you help yourself. So this is my newer routine. It used to be going and doing my workout. My new routine is I go to my office, 5 in the morning. I still drink my Energize, and I spend 45 minutes with journaling and reading. And sometimes I'll pick up a book and it won't speak to me that day, and I'll just pick up another one, or I'll get on YouTube, and whatever I need at that moment. If I'm struggling with anxiety, if I'm struggling with time management, if I'm struggling with, you know, leading my team or motivating my coaches, I will find something that appeals to that, and I will read. I will journal, and then I will do that for about 30 minutes. And then from there, I will make my to-do list. And at this point, I do not have my phone on. My Facebook notifications are always turned off. My Facebook Messenger is always turned off. There is no flashing lights on my phone at any point in the day. It's all turned off. I only open it when I need to work, because otherwise there's ding and beeps and it just is distracting you all day long. So it's just off. It's off all the time. And so then I look at my to-do list and I say to myself, okay, what are the 1 to 3 things that I must do today? Not should do, but must do today. And for example, I'll write those 1 to 3 things out. And this, I'm going to just diverge for a little bit, so I'm forgetting to tell you this. But for example, I was in the midst of my 1 to 3 things today, and a coach on my team told me about the way this new group I could create on Facebook on my like page. And instantly I went over there and I started to create this group that I didn't really need to create right now because it was going to be something I did next week, but I just wanted to play around with it. And I had to like smack myself out of that and say, nope, this is not important right now. Go back to what you were doing that were the 3 must-haves. And so there's that discipline within those must-haves to catch the squirrel moments and kind of bring yourself back in, all right? So anyways, write down the 1 to 3 things that you must do, but ask yourself, why are those things important to me? Why are those things important? Because you're going to make a whole list of things, and then you need to ask yourself, is this going to be productive? Is this going to produce a sale or a coach sign up? Because everything you do in your business should be geared towards the results. It shouldn't be something you do because it just feels good. It should be something you do because there's a strategy behind it. So the top 3 things that you know you need to do. And so I do all of this before Facebook and emails and Instagram and stories, right? So once I'm done with that, I actually leave my room, still haven't turned on my computer yet. I go to the basement, I do my workout, I make my first morning post in the morning that goes on my Facebook and my Instagram, and I go get a shower. And while I'm in the shower, or actually when I get out of the shower, I listen to audio. So I have Audible on my phone. And this is all done before any child wakes up in the morning, right? I can get all of this done. And so I'll listen to Audible while I'm like putting my makeup on and doing my hair. And as stupid as it might sound, I know some of us like don't shower until like 8 o'clock at night, but I'm really weird because I want to be dressed and ready to go just in case I want to make a video that day, because I don't ever want to say, I'll wait until I have my makeup done, or I'll wait until this or that. Like I just always get dressed. And because when my kids were little, this is the reality. People used to call me and say, hey, you want to go to the park? And I would be like a disheveled mess, and my kids would be a disheveled mess. And I hated saying like no, because I could never shower when my kids were awake because they would scream and cry, and they never let me like put them down. And so I just got in the habit of getting up and taking a shower. And so that is the truth of the reason why I am dressed every day, is because I just created that habit for myself. So yes, I do that. I get up every single day. All right. So that's what I do now. And now I have office hours where I go into my office at 8 a.m. and I start my day. And so at 8 a.m., I walk into my office, I shut my office door, and Matt is at home. So he watches the kids and I work. Like this is my job. And so sure, I could put in a load of laundry. Sure, I could clean the kitchen before I start my day. But this is my job. This is my full-time job. And I have to be disciplined to go in my office and close the door and sometimes turn on the music and get to work. And so I start working through those 3 must-haves first. And your first like 3 to 4 hours of your day are actually your most creative parts of your day. So I blog in the mornings. I do live videos in the mornings. I write posts in the mornings, because I find that once it gets to 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock, I'm done. And there's no creativity left in me. And then the rest of the day is kind of like just whatever's. It's my check-ins, it's my responding to messages, it's those simple things that you can do anywhere or at any time. And the other thing is I have an end time for everything. I have a start time and I have an end time. So, you set the timer for yourself. I will give myself 10 minutes to find 5 new people on social media, right? And you set the timer and you give yourself that 10 minutes. I will spend 20 minutes following up. And then I race against the clock, because if you have 8 hours a day, or you have no children at home, or you don't have any children yet, it's really easy to waste time. and spend all day just sitting around working your Beachbody business and not really doing anything that's really moving you forward. So what I do is I use my timer on my phone and for different activities. I'm going to only write a blog post for 30 minutes. I'm only going to talk on the phone with my coaches for 20 minutes, whatever that may be. I have a start and end time for everything in my business. And honestly, the more you set the timer, the more you realize how long it really takes you to do activities, and you can actually begin to plan out your day better because you anticipate, oh, I need to leave buffer. This person talks a lot. Or I need to, this blog post is going to take me a lot longer. I'm going to need to leave more buffer. So I know that about myself too. And then there's an end time. So if my end time is noon, that's my end time. And at 11:30, I put into my phone, or I put on Google my calendar at 11:30, or I put at 12 o'clock is my end time, and it reminds me 30 minutes before I have an appointment. And so that's like my end of the day. And so I know that at 11:30, I need to wrap it up. So I need to maybe stop what I'm doing and tie up all the loose ends, because at 12 o'clock, I have to stop, because I need to now go spend time with my family. And so I need to not take my phone with me. I do not need to take my laptop out to the kitchen and sit in the kitchen. That's not spending quality time with my family. I'm still working. So I've learned to like draw the line and say, okay, phone and computer gone, 3 hours of quality time with my family, because 3 hours of quality time with my family is better than 8 hours of me with my head in my phone. Yep, I heard you. Sure, okay. Right? How many of you do that to your families, right? So if you get disciplined to kind of create these pockets where it's all Beachbody, all personal life, you will have a better balance. And actually your family will not resent you for your business, because you're getting the things done you need to do and you're spending quality time with them. I may make that sound very easy, but it wasn't easy to get to that point. It was kind of messy and kind of ugly. And it took a lot of refining in order to get there. And if I can just go back and say to you, like at the beginning, it looked very different. It was like an hour in the morning of whatever I could feverishly type as fast as I could type in my challenge groups before the boys woke up. And then it was like 20 minutes while they were watching Bubble Guppies. And then it was an hour when they took a nap in the afternoon. And I worked in these tiny little pockets with these, and I just constantly had a to-do list. And I would just keep saying, what's the most important? What's the most important? And that was how I worked through those early years before I could hire an assistant or a babysitter and get a little bit of help. Or before I could leave, some of you leave a full-time job, right? Maybe you're trying to get a certain income so you can cut back your hours. So you're working towards a goal, and you always know what the goal is you're working towards. And you know that at the beginning, you're going to have to burn the candle at both ends a little bit until you get there. But there is an end in sight as long as you're focused on results-driven behaviors and actions. All right. So I plan that quitting time. And then the last thing is the procrastination part of it, right? So why do we procrastinate? Because it's a coping mechanism for fear and stress. So when it's time to sit down and make a business post, and we make a post about our next challenge group, we're procrastinating. We're covering up the fear of rejection because it's just easier to revert back to the fitness. Or when it's time to do, a post on Facebook that's really vulnerable, why do we suddenly need to fold a load of laundry? Because that's our coping mechanism. All of a sudden that makes us feel good. We're avoiding the behavior, right? When instead we need to recognize what we're doing and stop ourselves dead in our tracks. We literally have to stop ourselves dead in our tracks and retrain our brains to choose to do the thing that is hard. It's the same thing you choose to do when you say, I'm going to have a piece of cake versus I'm going to have this apple. You might reach for the cake and you're like, no, cake is not going to get me to the results. I'm going to eat the apple. It's a choice. And procrastination is a choice, and it's something that you have to become aware that you're doing it. So I now am very aware when I do it. Today, I was doing that. I hate checking emails. If you send me an email, I hate answering them, and I will put them off forever. I don't know why. I just do. I found myself wiping down the kitchen counters and this was me today, switching the laundry and making myself a snack, and then I watered the plants, and then I realized what I was doing, and I was like, oh my gosh, Melanie. you're doing this to yourself. And so I had to put down the watering can and walk in the house and answer the stinking email. So it happens to me too. You know, I still struggle with it, and it's that constant awareness of what you're doing. All right. So, and the last thing is this, you have to ask yourself all the time, you have to visualize where you want to be, 5 years from now. A part of when you wake up in the morning, and maybe even before you get out of bed, you say, I'm up, and you don't hit the snooze, but you just lay there for a moment. All right. And you just say to yourself, why am I here? Why am I going to do this today? What does this goal mean to me? Why does achieving these Beachbody goals have such significance in my life? And you close your eyes and you visualize where you want to be 5 years from now. Who do you want to be surrounded with? Where do you want to live? What are your children or your spouse or your significant other going to be doing? Do you dream of freedom? Do you dream of leaving that job? Do you want to own a house on the beach or a lake house, or do you want to pay off your mortgage or get out of debt? Whatever it may be that you want to do, you have to visualize what it's going to feel like to accomplish that. How is it going to feel? Is there going to be a weight lifted off of your chest, right? Is there going to be stress in your life? And when you visualize that every single morning and you tell yourself, I can freaking do this. I can make this happen. And you put your feet on the floor and you do the things that we've talked about throughout this call. Every single day, you're going to make progress towards that goal. It is not going to be easy. There are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be obstacles, but I promise you it will be worth it. But only you can make it happen. You are the only one that can change the game for yourself. No circumstance, no upline support, no matter where you're placed in this business, no matter when you signed up, no matter what you look like, you determine your destiny. And so as we leave here today, I want you just to make it your mission to wake up every morning with a purpose and a passion and that vision in your heart, and just never let it go. And that will drive you to do everything else that you want to accomplish in your business. So with that being said, I will tell you that a lot of my inspiration for my team lately has been from this book. It's the 5-Second Rule. It's by Mel Robbins. I not only read the book, but then I downloaded it on Audible and I listened to the audio. And if you heard me say like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's where that came from. They talk about anxiety and stress and depression in here. They also talk about health and fitness. I even recommend this to my challengers now too. I use this in all of my challenge groups. So I will tell you that this is one of my favorite books, and it helps me to refine my discipline even at this stage of my game. It's really been a game changer for me. So anyways, I hope that was what you wanted me to speak on. Colleen, if there's anything else, any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. So.
Oh, I know we're definitely going to have questions, and that was awesome. I know you were focused, but everyone in the chat was like, needed to hear this, need this. So, I've been talking to the team lately about like, what's the story you're playing in your head? And I don't know who went to Ignite at Summit, but it was, Lindsay Matway got on stage and she said, what if you were able to record the thoughts that were going through your head and then play them back to your social media, your team, your challengers? What would be going on in there? And that's something that over my 4-year journey, and clearly Melanie has it down too, it's that self-awareness of the thoughts you're allowing, and that's the key word, that you're allowing into your mind. And then the little voice in our head that you're having a conversation with, what are you allowing that voice? Like, oh no, okay, I'll hit snooze. Like, we know that we are in control of that. So being in your head can be a good thing if you train that muscle to be conditioned to work in your favor. So Taylor said this was so helpful with her struggle as a mom for life and business. So thank you. Before I ask my question, do you guys have questions for Melanie? You can unmute yourself or type it in the chat box. I'll give you guys a chance first. This is an awesome time. Bree did ask, when did you start incorporating the timer aspect into your business? At the beginning or later?
At the beginning. At the beginning, because the kids were so little and I realized that I was wasting time and I needed to get through things faster. So I started doing that right away.
Yeah, it's a really good habit. I actually, from my Brendan Burchard mentor, got a kitchen timer because if I have my phone, what's going to happen? I'm going to be on my phone. So I got one of those little like $5 kitchen timers. It's a digital one, and that was really helpful for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, even with challenge groups, because I would get an hour in a challenge group and just be answering messages in challenge groups. So I was like 30 minutes, that's all I'm going to do. And then makes you work faster too, because you're trying to get through it in 30 minutes.
What are your tips for motivating your team and pushing them? Britt wants to know.
That is the $1 million question. If you could find the secret sauce to motivating your team, you would be a bazillionaire. So I think that for me personally, I think that's a couple of answers. Number one, it's me leading from the front and showing that it can be done. That's really big. Like, I find that if I'm not practicing what I'm preaching to them and I'm not showing them that I'm doing it, they're not going to follow me. So that's number one. I mean, they match my energy. If I get quiet in my team page, everybody gets quiet. Everybody just like stops. And so it's all about me. I can't check out. I also find that it's really important for me to inspire them and not bark orders at them. So I can't tell my team, you have to hit Success Club, you have to hit Success Club, that's just what you do, that's just what you do. I have to talk about what is my vision for our team, the amount of people that we're going to help, the way that our team is going to make an impact. And I really have to build people up to get behind that vision, that we're more than just a number, and this is what we're going to do. And then I have to create this strong sense of community where people feel supported and that they get recognition. So I do a lot with just recognizing people like you do on the beginning of this team call. Like, that is so important, that people feel a part of a bigger purpose. Some will and some won't. There is no level of team prizes I can do every month or incentives I can put out there. You just are or aren't. And I'll give you a prime example. I did this Surge to Summit group with my entire downline. And so we started right after Punta Cana, and we were going to finish on the 31st. And everybody put in $20. It was a $20 buy-in to be a part of it. The goal was to rank advanced diamond, star diamond, or beyond, or get your diamond back. There was over $3,000 in a pot. So, and I'll tell you that maybe 10 people achieved diamond rank over the last 6 weeks. And every day for the last, can you imagine how much money those people are going to get? Over the last 6 weeks, I have gone live in that group every single day. Every day I have gone live. I've given them some sort of inspiration, motivation, or teaching. And there are 300 plus people in that group. Some will and some won't. It just is. Like, there is, you can stand on your head, but you just have to talk to a lot of people to find your tribe of people that just get it. I'm throwing money at them. Like, everybody's bought into this. A piece of the pie is sitting right there. And that isn't even motivating enough for some. And it really has to do with what's up here. Because it's all in their head. They're letting things get in the way. And they're talking themselves out of the goal. They're like, yeah, it was just $20. Who cares? I paid $20. No big deal. I paid that 6 weeks ago. It's not a big deal anymore. So that's sort of my, that's my 2 cents on that.
That is amazing. And I'll add like one little quick thing. The best thing I can say, if you guys are trying to go diamond and beyond, is your influence really becomes a huge part of someone's life when you teach them how to think. Because really all this is everything that Melanie talked about today is mindset, right? We don't like that word. No one talks about mindset besides me and Melanie probably. But it's this mindset around everything we do and personal growth. And that's why Beachbody coaching is hard work.
Right.
There was another question. This is a good question. What's the best method you've discovered for finding people who are your tribe? Are you in groups, or do you use a certain platform?
Mm-hmm. So finding people, my tribe definitely has come from my blog, my website now. That was where I found all of my people at the beginning. I will say that they kind of come from all over the place, Instagram and Facebook, and I'm not in groups anymore. I don't have to do that because people do tend to find me, which is kind of nice. But I will say at the beginning, I was in a lot of like mom groups. I was in local garage sale groups. I was in like all the mops groups in my area. I did play dates with people in the neighborhood. Like, I held a fit club. Like, I went out of my way to meet new people all of the time. Like even I just made friends, and I'm not a very social person. So that was hard for me. But I thought, hey, I just need to meet as many people as I can. And so in the meantime, everybody that I would meet, I'd add them as Facebook friends, or I'd find them on Instagram. And so that I just started adding people. And as I was running challenge groups, I would ask for referrals, and I would tag my customers in things, and then I would just, like, all of these ways I'd share my recipes that I was like blogging about. And so then people started to follow my blog. And so that's kind of like, it organically grew. But I would honestly go to my brother's Facebook page, and I would go to his friend list, and then I would look at everybody that I like thought looked normal, and I would friend request them. And then I did it with my husband, and I went to everybody on my husband's page, and I friend requested all of the people that looked normal. And then I went to my best friend's page, and I friend requested, like, I just went through, and I didn't even care if they accepted or not. And I started with that. I found a bunch of my teammates and some of my top coaches through a Facebook group for our sorority. So we had an alumni page that I wasn't even a part of. So I requested to join that, and I started talking to all the girls in there, and then I went down and friend requested them all. So I just looked for ways that I hadn't found to find people before. Instagram, I now tag brands. So everything I wear, I tag the brand. I try to tag the creator, any book that I read, I try to tag the author, because then sometimes people will see that and they'll do a shout out for you on their page if you have a good picture with. So this happened to me with the Calia brand at Christmas time. I did my favorite things for Christmas, and I had the hat and the scarf on, and I tagged Calia, and they reached out to me and said, hey, can we put you on our website? I was like, heck yeah, you can, and then they gave me credit for it. So things like that, as like social media evolves, I find that those things help. I actually set aside time before I go to bed at night. It's my Instagram time, where I use the search function, and I just search hashtags of things I would search for. And then I look for people that are normal like me. And then I usually comment on their stuff and follow them. And I don't really try to sell anybody anything. I just try to make friends. So that's something I make time to do every single day as well. So that's the way that I've been building my market and my network of people. But it's compound effect, really, is what it is.
I think growing a network and having the mindset of a marketer, if you guys are all in this business and you want to create a business, you have to have a passion and a little bit of an obsession of creating a following and creating social media. And that's why we can't ghost. That's why we can't post just kind of one time when we feel like it, because we're creating this following and this brand that people are following.
And then one thing that I just recently was reading is, when you post, you got to stick around, because your affinity grows if you comment back right away. So on Instagram, I used to post my workout, get in the shower. And so I started to kind of I'd get in the shower, but as soon as I got out, I would check it. Okay, did anybody comment back? You always want to answer. Gary Vaynerchuk says this. You want to answer everybody's comments, because it's social media. It's meant to be social. So now I always comment back on everything, or at least try.
Yeah, that's a really good tip, especially on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good question. How many times do you keep following up with people that have kind of gone silent? Do you just move forward? I feel like everyone is so different.
Yeah, I every month when I do a sneak peek for coaching, I go through the entire list of people that I've talked to in the last 6 months and re-invite them all until they tell me to take me off their list. And so I'm just always inviting people and then the same thing with my challenge groups. If somebody told me no last month, when I go to launch this month's challenge group, I just go right down the list and click everybody and send them a message and let them know when the next challenge group is. And so I will follow up with people, and sometimes every single month, until they tell me to stop following up with them. And people that I sent out links to that didn't sign up yet, I will usually send them 2 or 3 messages before I just say, all right, do you want me just to put you on the list for next month? Maybe now is not the right time. Either way, just let me know. And I'll just, set myself a reminder to remind you next month. So that's kind of how I do that part of it.
How did you handle telling your family that you need focused time to build a business?
I don't remember. I think I just said I don't remember. I mean, I remember saying to Matt that I can't do that, like I can't mom and do my business. I remember saying like, I just need you to get up on Saturday morning so that I can work for another hour so that I can get it out of the way. This is it. I always say this. I'm like, I just need 3 hours to get my work done because I don't want to have to be stressed out all day long and anxious about when I'm going to get back home to answer these messages. If you just give me this morning time to get it done, we can spend the rest of the day together. And so that's the way I would say it. And so when Matt would come home at night, I knew that I couldn't like throw the kids at him whenever he got to the door because he'd had a long day. But if I would say to him, okay, on Tuesday night, I'm going to need you to watch the kids or do bedtime routine because I have to do this call or I have to write a blog post. If I let him know ahead of time, it was okay. But it had to be a give and take. I had to make sure that I carved out nights where I just hung out with him too. So it had to be, it had to be two-sided there.
Asking for referrals. How does this process work for you?
So I used to, at the end of a challenge group, make a post in there where I would just, and I still do this, where I just go in and I say, all right, the challenge group is going to be over on Sunday. I'm kicking off the next group. It's going to start on X date. If you would like to continue on, let me know. These are the requirements. And if you have anybody that you think would be interested in joining the group with us, if they purchase a challenge pack and the referral comes from you, I will give you a $25 Amazon gift card towards anything you want, right? So I would kind of do that referral bonus, and then I would send them like a nice little handwritten thank you note and an Amazon gift card because I was going to get a commission from that challenge pack and Success Club points. So does it always happen? No, but it definitely, sometimes people will tag people and then they are now in my feed and maybe a month or two down the road, they become a customer. So, it does help.
Referrals have been really big for me, and sometimes I forget to do them. But my best advice for you guys with referrals is when you get someone that's really excited, like, oh, they bought their challenge pack, I can't wait to get my shakes in the mail, be like, hey, do you have any like girlfriends or best friends, or maybe your boyfriend wants to do this with you? And I swear, guys, more than 50% of the time, they were like, yeah, I was actually going to ask you, how can my best friend do this? Because it's this accountability partner thing, and I did that with my best friend back in the day. So don't be afraid to ask for that, especially when they're very excited.
Yeah.
Okay, last question because we're approaching an hour. Any suggestions from your experience on how to successfully invite and get people excited and interested?
When it comes to inviting, I will say that when you're inviting, it has a direct reflection on your social media. If your social media sucks, your invite is going to go nowhere. So if you think about it, if somebody sends you an invite to join their, lipstick business, right? What do you immediately do? Well, this is what I do. I go to their Facebook page. Well, first of all, if it's a spammy, like salesy message, I actually ignore it and I don't even go further than that. Then if I'm kind of interested, I'll go look at the person's Facebook page and I will scroll their Facebook page. If somebody has a lipstick tutorial and they tell me how to wear this lipstick, if they, have like these really cool pictures, if they're styled really nice, if they, maybe give like all kinds of different ways to wear your makeup or whatever, right? If they're doing tutorials and things that would interest me, I'm going to be more intrigued because their page looks professional. I can see their face. I know they're a real person. I know that they're practicing what they preach. If I go to your lipstick Facebook page and all you have is shared posts of somebody else and pictures of dogs and pictures of beaches, and it's like there's nothing on there that says that you are a professional at what you're inviting me to, I'm going to ignore you. So your Facebook or your Instagram is your storefront. What is the message you're sending to people? If you're inviting somebody to a challenge group, but you haven't posted a workout picture or a transformation from yourself or anything motivational or anything with nutrition or anything that's going to attract people to you, people aren't going to join you. All right. You could have the best script in the world. I could give you every script that's ever worked for me. It's not going to work for you because the credibility is not there. So you have to build the credibility on your social media. That is like the thing that you have to work at until you find your groove and your niche. And then when you go to invite people, it's like, hey, if you want to join my health and fitness group, absolutely. I've been watching you. You're so inspiring. You're so motivating. So that's where you kind of marry the two together is you make it nonchalant. It's not a long script. It's a real conversation and it's backed with great content on your social media.
I'm dropping the mic right now for you. Well, thank you so much, Melanie. And I know you just got back from, I think you said Bryce's baseball game. So tell him I say hello, and this call will be forever replayed. And we appreciate your time, and make sure you let me know when you want me to speak on yours.
Oh, yes. Perfect. I will definitely do that. I will go put the kids to bed, and I will send you a message.
Okay. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody. All right. Take care. Good night.